Yo, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Rant Talks. So today, as you can see by the title and thumbnail, we are going to be talking about Star Wars and kind of where it's at right now. I am very passionate about this subject. I love Star Wars. I grew up on it. I watch it all the time, play the game, stuff like that. But just a quick couple disclaimers. These are my opinions only. If you're going to comment about something I said in the video, please don't be... I mean, you can be nasty towards me in the comments. That doesn't affect me, but we'll try to have a constructive, open dialogue. It's really what I'm trying to start here. Also, there will most likely be some cussing in this video because I'm going to get probably pretty mad at some certain points. Sequel trilogy. And yeah, this is not meant to attack any one person. If I mention a name, it's not meant to attack them. It's just I don't necessarily agree with the decisions that they have made. So yeah, but before we get into this, if you guys could leave a like on this video, subscribe if you enjoy your stay here at Rant Talks. I have a second channel down in the description where I react to EDM songs and the do and stuff like that if you want to check that out. And I also have a Patreon that supports me directly, so that'd be much appreciated if you went over there and supported me. But let's just jump right into this. Alright, so to preface the kind of Star Wars that I like, my favorite episodes are Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and Episode 5, and Empire Strikes Back. I think those, to me, are why I love most of the other movies. Those are peak Star Wars for me. Those are the movies, if I'm going to rewatch Star Wars movies, a lot of the times I'll pick those two episodes. I just recently went back and watched 1 through 6. I just recently went back and beat the Jedi Fallen Order game, which is a great game, by the way. So I figured we can start at the history, but we'll do it in chronological order, 1 through 9, just to try to get a sense of where we are right now, and I can talk about certain little details that I liked or didn't like throughout these episodes. So we got Episode 1, obviously, Phantom Menace. You got Anakin as a young kid. This one, for the I'm not a massive prequels fan, like 1 and 2, but I think this is my second favorite prequel. Obviously, you got Qui-Gon, love Qui-Gon. I love the fact that he's not so, as Palpatine would say, dogmatic. He's not like a true Jedi, like, this is the teachings, this is exactly what we have to do. He just kind of goes with the flow and he follows the Force, and I really like that about him. And obviously, you got Maul, absolutely badass character. I love Maul. And then we jump into the second one, which honestly I know the least about. I've seen the second one. I mean, I'd be surprised if it was a handful of times. It's like the only one out of the original 6 that I can't get through. But obviously you have the Anakin scene where he's avenging his mother and killing the women and the children too. Great arcs for Anakin. I just think the movie as a whole, I just wasn't super into it. And then Revenge of the Sith, absolute S-tier movie. This is the completion when, Anakin turns into Darth Vader. It's all around is absolutely fantastic. It's so dark. And you can see, a lot of people will like to say that Anakin just kind of jumped in and all of a sudden he's Darth Vader. Like, he just became a Sith overnight, you know what I mean? But if you actually watch the movies, you can see there's little hints where he taps into the dark side. Like, in the Revenge of the Sith, when he fights Dooku, he taps into it. Obviously, murdering the Sand People, he does the same exact thing. And there's little bits and pieces that you can see that he is losing his faith in the Jedi Order. Where they don't make him a master, obviously, is one of them, but they put him on the council, asking him to spy on his friend, Palpatine. And you can just see certain little tidbits of, you understand how he got to this point, you know what I mean? So I think that's a really, really good story arc. And George Lucas has said that Star Wars is literally about Anakin. It's his turn into Darth Vader and then Darth Vader's son, you know what I mean? And Luke is more of a I don't even know the right word for this. He's more not an accomplice, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. He's more just there because of Vader. So yeah, Episode 3, absolutely fucking fantastic. And then we jump into the originals. And I really, really, really like the originals more. I'd say the originals as a whole for me are stronger than the prequels, just because I like each movie better. You know what I mean? If episode 2 was better, it'd be really tough for me to say, but so we obviously start with A New Hope, and you got Luke being taught by Obi-Wan, and he starts to learn his way a little bit. He's kind of lost. He's just working for his dad, trying to become a pilot, but he doesn't really feel like he has a direction. He doesn't know exactly what he wants to do. Obviously he wants to fly, but so he starts learning about the Force, and he starts finding a purpose a little bit. Obviously he blows up the Death Star, and you can see he goes from like, I was gonna go down in the sorting of the power converters, or whatever the fuck he says, like just a complete crybaby, just whiny teenager, into the person that shoots the Death Star down. You know what I mean? So I think you really start to see Luke's transformation, and I really like his story arc too. And then obviously we have Empire Strikes Back, where, I mean, this is such a good movie. You got the Tauntaun scene where Han slits it open and stuffs Luke in there. But you can see Luke start to get a hold of the Force when he's strung up, because he gets, attacked by, I can't think of the fucking name of it. It's basically like the big giant white monster. I can't think of the name of it. But you can see him, he just uses the Force to pull the lightsaber to him, and you get the hint that he's starting to get a little bit stronger. And then the scenes with Yoda are absolute gold. Yoda in this movie is so funny. When Luke says he's looking for someone, he's like, found someone I think you have. It's so good, dude. It's so funny. It is absolutely top tier. But you get a lot of training with Luke, and you can see him start to harness his power. And then obviously when he fights Vader in that little like tunnel thing, and the helmet explodes and it's Luke, and you're like, what is going on? It's just, it's really propelling the story, and you can really, it's starting to flesh out these characters a lot more, you know what I mean? Which is something that was not done in episode 4. So you start to see that transformation, and then he cuts his training short, which I'm not 100% sure about this information I'm about to say, but I'm pretty sure that I'm right, but I could be wrong. Please let me know in the comments. So Luke starts to get visions of Han and Leia being in trouble and they're gonna die. Now, Anakin, one of the reasons he turns to the dark side is because he gets these visions of Padme dying in childbirth. And he also got the same exact visions from his mom. He has a great Force power that would allow him to sense the future. And he does everything he can to stop Padme from dying, which, by trying to do everything he can to stop her from dying, is actually the whole thing that caused her to die in the first place. You got Palpatine manipulating him, saying that only the dark side of the Force can bring her back to life. Obviously, you got, Darth Plagueis the Wise. So I'm pretty sure Palpatine put that image in Anakin's head to manipulate him, and I'm 99% sure he's doing the exact same thing to Luke in order to bait him in. Which is something great that, obviously, Palpatine is the mastermind of this entire thing. So he leaves, goes to Cloud City, and has an absolutely excellent fight with Vader, and obviously we get the "No, I am your father." And the thing that I absolutely love about this scene in particular is Luke looks down, and he doesn't know, like, in his mind he's dead. When he jumps, he doesn't know that he's going to get sucked into a tunnel system, you know what I mean? In his mind, he's jumping and he's dead. He is, at that point, he is so unwilling to join his father on the dark side that he thinks he's ending it all, you know what I mean? Which is just absolutely bonkers. But, so, that, the movie ends. Obviously, our heroes lose a ton in that movie, which is also another great thing that I like. Obviously not great to see heroes lose, but it's great to know that your characters are vulnerable. Obviously the Darth Vader theme is in this movie. It just, the Empire feels like it holds so much more weight, and it's just starting to squish the rebels, you know what I mean? And it just feels like everything has tension. People are getting hurt. Han is frozen. Luke gets his arm cut off. It's just, you feel like your heroes are incredibly vulnerable. So there is great tension in this world now. And then we move to episode 6, Return of the Jedi, where, not to talk about the movie too much, because we're getting into the history a little bit more than I thought we were gonna, but I'm just going off the cuff, dude. I need to talk about this stuff. So then you go to episode 6, you get the Ewoks, and obviously the ending is absolutely amazing, because up to this point, Palpatine has done everything to perfection. He gets Luke there. Luke is starting to turn to the dark side when he's fighting his father. He cuts off his arm in just the exact same way that Vader did to him. And he realizes what he's doing. And instead of totally embracing and falling into the dark side like Anakin did, he stops, closes his lightsaber, and just takes the absolute abuse that is Force lightning. And in his mind, he is saying again, if you're not going to turn to the light, there is absolutely no way I'm turning to the dark after Palpatine had asked me to. So I'm going to die here and now because I'm so unwilling to join to the dark side. And it's just such a great arc to get to that point where he is willing to risk absolutely everything by trying to convert his father to the light side again, where he came from that, power converters start in A New Hope, and now this is where he is. And it's just a great character development. And you can really resonate with this scene too, especially when Vader takes Palpatine, throws him over the edge of the explosion, and then the Death Star explodes again. And it's such a great finale. And you got Luke taking his father's helmet off, and then there's a lot of controversy with the scene after Vader is burning at the funeral that only Luke is at, which is another crazy powerful scene, by the way. And Anakin, Hayden Christensen's version of Anakin is the one that shows up as a Force ghost. I actually like this because I think it represents the last time Anakin was actually Anakin and not Vader, you know what I mean? So I think it was the right move in my mind, to bring him into that Force ghost instead of the other actor. I can't think of his name now. And it also ties the prequels and trilogy together very nicely. All right, now is where I start to get very angry. So, obviously Disney buys Star Wars for $4 billion from George Lucas, which, I mean, good for him, dude. And they make episodes 7, 8, and 9. They have J.J. Abrams direct episode 7. They have Rian Johnson direct episode 8, and then they brought JJ back for episode 9, which I don't even think he was supposed to come back. So, in all honesty, the sequel trilogies, in my mind, are absolute garbage. I honestly didn't want these films to be made in the first place unless George Lucas was at the helm, because it felt like, even from George Lucas's mouth, like I had said previously, that, the Star Wars was about Anakin. And Anakin, overthrowing the Emperor and dying at the end of episode 6 really felt like the completion of the story. You know what I mean? And I was like, well, I was just nervous to see where they were going to go. I was nervous, but excited. So episode 7, The Force Awakens, comes out. I watched it in theaters and I thought, okay, it kind of felt like a shittier A New Hope, to be honest, but I'm interested to see where they take it, because there was some good ideas. They had Finn, who was a stormtrooper, and then he defects, and I thought that could be an absolutely amazing character. That's an original idea that could be super cool to explore, because nothing like that has ever been explored. So I was hopeful but kind of hesitant, because I was like, the movie was like okay, but like I understand this is like a new jumping off point with new characters. Maybe it's going to take me some time to warm up to them. The ending I thought was cool with Rey trying to hand Luke his lightsaber. And then we have episode 8, The Last Jedi, which in all honesty is a complete fucking abomination. I hated this movie. As soon as it starts and Luke takes the lightsaber and throws it over his shoulder, I was like, dude, there is no way that this is gonna happen. This is when I start getting angry. Rian Johnson does not understand Star Wars at all. Oh, they subverted our expectations. If I hear that phrase one more time, dude, I'm gonna fucking lose it. This movie sucked ass. You can not just take your own direction and your own vision with not even thinking about the source material at all and just make whatever you want in such a massive universe that's been around for 40 years, 7 other movies, all of the lore, the games, all the the whole expanded universe. Like, it's like you can't just put your own vision on it. And the way that they did Luke so dirty. I mean, you guys have seen it all by now. Mark Hamill absolutely hates this movie, and it's like he's justified in everything, dude. He's in Hermit, and honestly, I haven't seen The Last Jedi in a while, so I might confuse parts of The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. But the whole reason he's in hiding is because he wanted to kill Ben in his sleep because he thought he was going to turn to the dark side. Luke, the same dude that almost killed himself twice so that Vader, because he didn't want to join the dark side, like he laid everything on the line, stopped fighting, had the chance to kill his father and stopped fighting to bring him back to the light and risked dying there. This is the same dude that's gonna kill his nephew in his sleep? Like, whose Luke is this? Like, what the fuck what is that? What is going on here? So that was, I could go on forever, but I really don't want to. That was absolute garbage. It's just, as a one-off, you do whatever the hell you want, you know what I mean? But in the 8th movie in this franchise, you can't do that. You can't. And if you like the sequel trilogies, dude, more power to you. This is just my opinion. But yeah, that was absolute trash. Last Jedi is absolutely fucking horrible. And it pisses me off that this was even allowed to happen. So J.J. Abrams in The Force Awakens tried to set up Snoke as like the new bad guy, and Rian Johnson just cuts him in half. Also, Finn's character is basically reduced to nothing in this movie. So that whole super cool stormtrooper, story that they could have explored is just nothing. So that's cool. And the other big issue I have with these movies, actually, no, let's just get into The Rise of Skywalker first. After you watch The Rise of Skywalker, it becomes abundantly clear that there was zero direction. And this is, I think, the reason I hate these movies the most is, one, the entire trilogy as a whole was trash. None of it lines up. Nothing makes sense. Nothing carries over coherently. But the fact that Daisy Ridley's character, Rey, is supposed to be, the next Last Jedi. It feels like we're doing like Fast and Furious movies here. The next Last Jedi, she is so strong, and like we see like almost no training. Like all the training that Luke had to do and everything on Dagobah with Yoda and all the lessons he learned, it's just not here. There are no stakes in these movies, which is another massive issue, but I'm getting sidetracked. So now the fact that Rian Johnson just killed off Snoke, now they're like, fuck. What do we do? And I don't want to blame J.J. Abrams too much because he kind of got dragged into this, and he also didn't have as much creative control as I think he was supposed to have. A lot of scenes got cut by Disney due to budget reasons, which is hilarious because Disney, I feel like, doesn't have a budget. They bring back the Emperor Palpatine. And I was so mad when I found this out. Because honestly, bringing back Palpatine, for me, and I know a lot of other people, completely undoes the first 1 through 6 films. His arc where he turns to the light and throws him down the shaft, and somehow he survived the explosion of the Death Star, and we just get that stupid ass line from Revenge of the Sith that, the dark side is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. That's the only explanation they have for ruining the first fucking 6 movies. Anakin's entire arc, turning back to the light, Luke saving him, all this shit doesn't fucking matter because he's not dead. So it's like, okay, so the first 1 through 6 doesn't matter because he can just come back, and Anakin's entire arc, and yeah, fuck it, dude. It doesn't matter. It's just like, what? And in this movie, he is not a genius, not the smart person that has basically set up every single event in the first 6 movies. He is stupid. He has like, oh my god, dude, I'm getting so mad. The Death Star scene where he rises all the Death Stars out of the ground, like 1,000 of them or something like that, all fully crewed and everything. It's like, what is happening here, dude? Like, this is not the dude who's a mastermind of all of this. And he's like, oh, you just have to kill Rey or kill, I don't even fucking remember, dude. I've seen the movie one time. That's how much I hate it. It's just, and then the end scene when they, there's spoilers by the way, but I'm sure you knew that. In the end scene, when they kill him, it's like, does this even fucking matter? Because then episode 10, 11, 12, here he comes. And then the same stupid ass reasoning. Like this, it's just an absolute abomination. And I go back and forth on Kylo. He kind of seems like a little whiny bitch, to be honest. And he just kind of seems like a shittier Darth Vader, to be honest. And then, oh my god, the thing that pisses me off the most is, you know how in the first two movies, this was like that big secret, like, who is Rey's parents? Like, what's her lineage? And then they were like, oh, she could be this, but then, nah, she's really nothing. And then in The Last Jedi, they decided she was an absolute nobody. When they brought back Palpatine after Johnson had killed off Snoke, they had no idea still. And Kathleen Kennedy did so many interviews saying that, oh yeah, it was the plan all along to bring the Emperor back. But Daisy Ridley herself said when they were shooting the fucking episode 9, that she legitimately didn't know. They were tossing around lineage to Obi-Wan. Then they said, yeah, maybe you'll be Palpatine's granddaughter. And then they were like, well, maybe not though. So like, your fans are not fucking dumb. It is so clear that they didn't even know the main character's fucking lineage until like halfway through shooting the 9th movie, the 3rd one in the trilogy, that they had no idea what the fuck they were doing. It is so brutally disrespectful to every single Star Wars fan who entrusted Disney to actually make a good product, because that is an absolute abomination. That is just, it's a fucking tragedy, dude. The only good thing to come out of the sequel trilogy is that Babu or Boba Frick dude or whatever, that tiny ass little robot. That dude was absolutely hilarious. I loved him. But yeah, man. So now we're gonna move past the sequels and into some of the Disney Plus streaming stuff. Kathleen Kennedy and Disney are so goddamn lucky that Jesus himself sent down Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, because these two dudes are single-handedly saving Star Wars. Could you imagine if The Mandalorian flopped? What would they do? They would be so screwed. It would be absolutely nuts. But The Mandalorian obviously didn't flop, because that show absolutely fucks. And the scene, spoilers for Mandalorian if you have not seen it, by the way, this is your chance to click off the video. The scene in season 2, the finale, with Luke Skywalker taking out those Death Troopers. I think they were Death Troopers. Oh my. Just, ooh. That it gets me hot and heavy, dude. It gets me going. That is cinematic magic. That is a masterpiece. And then the Book of Boba Fett is okay. There was a lot of cool scenes with Luke training and Grogu and everything like that. And I think Boba Fett had some cool moments. But I don't know. When half of it's The Mandalorian and not Boba Fett, calling it the Book of Boba Fett is kind of disingenuous. You know what I mean? It felt a little odd, but I still enjoyed it enough watching it. And this is recorded, by the way, before episode 6 of Kenobi. Spoilers for Kenobi if you have not seen it. Definitely go watch it and click off this video right now. Episode 1 through 4 was okay. I thought it was kind of cool. But then I was like, okay, guys, there's only like 6 of these. Like, we really gotta get this going here. And then episode 5, dude, holy. With Vader holding the ship down and he just starts absolutely tearing through it. Absolutely phenomenal. I loved that. And then he knew Reva was the youngling, like, And he doesn't even, he's so disrespectful and fears this girl so little that he didn't even pull his own lightsaber out. He's just force pushing and moving her all over the place, takes her lightsaber, breaks it in half, tosses her to the other side. Like, this dude is an absolute menace, dude. It's so good. But I think Star Wars right now is in a lot better place, especially with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau at the helm. It really pisses me off that the sequel trilogy is canon, because honestly, with the way that they ruin Anakin's arc and everything, and then you know the way everything's going to turn out, all this stuff like in the middle time, like, you know how Kenobi's set between 3 and 4, the episodes, it's tough to care because you know it's just going to turn into an absolute trash can. But I think one of the ways that I do it is just to not think about the sequel trilogy. I've only seen every movie once. I don't think about it when I think about Star Wars. I think about 1 through 6 as Star Wars and that trash that came after it. But yeah, I think Star Wars is heading in a better direction. I really hope Kathleen Kennedy and Disney just let Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau do everything and stop trying to be disingenuous and lie to their fans, because you're going to lose a lot of people. And Star Wars fans are not silent. Let me put it that way. And we can start to see some change. Like, I thought Rogue One was all right. The Darth Vader scene at the end of Rogue One was fucking amazing. It's been my desktop background for a long time. And Solo was okay. I really didn't feel like the movie was necessary at all, and you definitely saw that with the box office. So it's cool that, like, they canceled more spin-offs and they're going to try to take more time with them, from the last I heard, that we can, affect. If we don't like something, we just don't pay for it. And if it starts affecting Disney's bottom line, then they'll actually do something about it. You know what I mean? But I've gone on for way too long. Drop your thoughts about anything I said in the comments. What are your favorite Star Wars episodes? I'd love to know that as well. And yeah, like I said at the intro, if you guys liked the video, make sure to leave a like on it. Subscribe if you enjoyed your stay here at Dillyland. And the Patreon and the second channel are in the description. But it has been Dillyland. See ya.